You've finally decided you need to start your real estate YouTube channel. You've spent thousands of dollars on gear still in the box, watched hundreds of how-tos, but the stress and the fear of hitting record keeps holding you back. Maybe you already started making some videos, but with no plan and no views, you're worried that you'll be doomed to a lifetime of cold calling and door knocking. Now, if any of that sounds familiar to you, then I want to share with you what I did to build my 40,000 subscriber real estate YouTube channel here in Calgary that helps us generate $100 million of sales and gets millions of views. Now, I know there are a lot of videos on how to start a YouTube channel by some of this platform's top creators. And after watching many of them, I've realized that they're almost all wrong for realtors. I mean, they've got a lot of great information in there, but none of them seem to address the very things that real estate agents need to focus on if they want to be successful on YouTube. When I started my main real estate YouTube channel 5 years ago, I was a brand new agent. I was nearly broke and I was working part-time. So I needed the content that I created to actually be seen by other people in my market. It had to bring me business. And that's what all the other videos on this topic are missing. They're trying to teach you how to be a full-time YouTuber, how to be an influencer, how to get brand deals, how to earn AdSense revenue. That is not the goal. In this video, I want to shift your idea of what success on YouTube looks like. Stop chasing views and subscribers so you can actually start building a personal brand that generates leads for your business and helps you live that lifestyle that you've always wanted. By the end of this video, you're going to have the foundation for your channel that you need to achieve just that. Let's illustrate it this way. You want a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, and that juice symbolizes all those great leads that you will attract through your new YouTube channel. This orange here represents one video that you make. Imagine for a second that you take this orange over here and you only squeeze it hard enough to get a few drips out. How long would it take for you to fill this glass with juice and your pipeline with leads? So many people put in so much effort and they don't know how to unlock the juice inside of that orange. They end up making the wrong video, or maybe they start without a plan. And that's why on this channel, we're devoted to helping you get as much juice as possible. Our primary job is being realtors. We're not trying to be just content creators. So the time and the effort that we actually spend creating that content, we need to leverage it. So it brings us business and helps us build a personal brand where the clients come to us. That will give us the lifestyle that we actually want. So if that sounds good to you, now would be a great time for you to hit that subscribe button, because in future videos, we're gonna be diving way deeper into these topics. The first and the most important step is to actually know who are you trying to make these videos for? This is something that's easy to skip, and I see agents do it all the time. YouTube is actually really good at finding your ideal audience. It's us, though, as agents, that sometimes, with our content, throw YouTube off the trail. We'll create a parody video, a market update, a listing tour, tips for other realtors getting started in the industry. And it's like, YouTube has no idea who to show that content to. You might think it's obvious. You want to make videos for people who are buying and selling real estate in your local market. But you actually want to dive a little bit deeper than that. And so the best way to define that audience is to ask these two questions. The first question is, who am I best equipped to serve? So you're gonna start by getting out a piece of paper and a pen and writing down your strengths and your interests. Now, the reason for this is because real estate is a super broad industry. There are so many different disciplines within it. So I want you to pick a niche that you understand really well and one that you're super passionate about. Now, you can create other content down the road on that niche, but when you think about those things that you love doing, that you understand really well, the next challenge is to think about how you can share that with the viewers so they get value from that knowledge. And here's just a few examples that I can think of. Let's say you're a brand new agent and you've just bought your first home. Maybe you're someone who's just looked for the perfect community for your family to live in. Maybe you understand the city better than anyone else. Maybe you can interpret market data in a way that makes it super easy for a viewer to understand. Maybe you've flipped properties, or maybe you're an investor. These are the people that you need to create for, because these are the people you once were. You know the pain points, the obstacles, and the challenges that they're gonna face. You know the pitfalls that they need to avoid so they can be successful. You're an expert in this field. This is the content that you should be creating. The second question, what does your audience actually need to know? I'm talking about content that is so necessary that if you didn't personally make it, the viewer would actually be worse off. Guys, the reality is that 99% of the content that gets made is completely worthless. Not because it's bad or inaccurate or even unhelpful, but because it's just the same. It's not a fresh voice or a fresh take. Did the video even need to be made in the first place? Now, I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but here's the point. What does your audience need to know that you know that nobody else is talking about here? You don't have to worry about creating an amazing video because maybe it's your angle or your viewpoint that you're approaching a subject. But what is that thing that brings value to them that they can't easily find somewhere else? Pro tip, if you're thinking about creating some content that might turn a few people off or you're worried it might lose your business, it might actually be the thing that you should go a little bit deeper on because that can draw your kind of people to you and actually start getting you business a lot sooner. So now we know the kind of videos that our audience wants us to make. The next step in your YouTube journey is understanding what YouTube wants you to make. There's only really 3 things that you should be considering. And the first one is, how do you capture people's attention? So what I'm talking about here is your title and your thumbnail. So this is before they've even started to watch your video. They've went to YouTube, they've seen all the different thumbnails and all the different topics, but they're clicking on yours. How often does YouTube have to show your thumbnail for you to actually get a click? That's called your click-through rate. So titles and thumbnails like these ones on the screen here, these ones are great because they actually create expectation, curiosity, and even better, some of them create tension in the minds of the viewer, making them far more clickable. The second thing that YouTube wants is they want you to keep people's attention. So now someone's finally clicked on your video. How much of the video are they going to watch? That's called the average view duration, and YouTube measures that because the longer the duration, the more money they actually make in ad revenue. If you have a great hook in the beginning, you can pique someone's interest and they might stick around. Now, my caution is this: if you fail to entertain them over the course of the video and you fail to answer the question that they came for in the first place, people are gonna bounce and that's gonna drop your AVD. Why did I say it like that? Anyway, so this is the reason why you can't just create a clickbait title or a thumbnail and be successful. You want to actually deliver that information, that value to the viewer over the course of the video while entertaining them so they stay to the end. That's the secret to a really great YouTube channel. The third thing that YouTube wants is they want positive engagement. Basically, that means, what are people doing while watching the video? Are they watching more videos down the road from you? Are they subscribing? Are they liking? Are they commenting? And even better, do they find the video so valuable that they're sharing it with a friend? These are all positive signs that keeps that engagement high and keeps YouTube showing your videos. Now, if you've hit this part of the video and you think, hey, I know a good portion of this stuff, I just still haven't started, I'm willing to bet I know the answer why. It's because you still haven't been able to defeat the 2 end bosses that you need to if you want to win the game of YouTube. The first boss, overthinking. The second, imposter syndrome. These 2 bosses, they will kill your channel before it even starts. Take this one for example. This is Brand It Like Brad. I think I first announced this channel over 2 years ago on a podcast. But despite the fact that for the first 3 years of my business, I shot and edited and uploaded all my videos to YouTube, I sold over 71 million in 2021 myself. I lead a top producing team in the city. I brought a real estate brokerage into Canada. I built a brand known all across North America, and I speak at tons of events. Despite all that, imposter syndrome and overthinking still stop me dead in my tracks. The good news is I finally got past them. I needed to do the same thing with this channel that I did all those years ago when I started my real estate channel. I needed a big reason why. Our city was in a deep recession, and many of the homes that were on the market weren't actually selling, but many of those families were experiencing tough times and they needed to sell. So I had this theory that if I could get them more exposure for their homes, maybe the properties would sell. So I started creating listing tours and videos, and in that I found a real passion for creating. I had always loved it, but I just never knew I could do it for a living. And then I didn't know that I could make a living that was big enough to actually really take care of my family, and that all of that put together would actually serve these families and help them move on with their lives. That became my why. And finally, I figured out that's what I needed for this channel. And so here it is. I want to help thousands of agents realize what success on YouTube actually looks like. So they stop chasing views and subscribers, and they actually start building a personal brand and a business that brings them the lifestyle that they actually want. So what's your why? This is something you're going to need to define. So pick a goal that is so big, so exciting, so life-changing that everything would be better if you could only hit it. You're gonna need something really big so you can get out of your head, stop procrastinating, stop overthinking, forget that imposter syndrome, and start going after that life that you really, really want. As you go deeper in your journey, you're gonna have to learn a lot of different things. Titles and thumbnails and how to be on camera and how to tell a great story and how to edit and how to film and what gear to use and how to keep people's attention and animations and like all that stuff. It could cause you to overthink, when really the only goal right now is for you to just start. Here's a simple plan to get started. I want you to create just 3 videos over the next 14 days, and I want you to do so for that ideal viewer that we've already identified about topics that will bring them value. Now, the reason 3 videos is important is because it will start to get you familiar with all of the pieces of the puzzle, creating and editing the content and uploading it, and then I'm gonna ask you to create a few thumbnails, some titles, and then finally press upload. Stagger those videos over a couple of days, give YouTube an opportunity for them to find an audience for each of those videos, and then here's the cool part. It doesn't matter how they perform because these videos are more for you than for anything else. I wanna help you build a YouTube channel that over the next year, even with just a small audience, will help you earn an additional 6 figures in income. Now, to do that though, you're gonna have to stop taking advice of just people trying to teach you how to be a full-time YouTuber and start thinking about how you can get more value, more leverage on the content that you create and really squeeze that orange for every lead and bit of business that's inside of it. Now, if you wanna do that, there are a few things that could kill your channel's growth, and I want you to avoid them. Plus, there are 5 ways that I leverage my YouTube channel way beyond just YouTube, and you can watch that video right here so you can learn all about them. Hey guys, I'm Brad. This is Branded Like Brad, and we're coming back with some more great content. We'll see you soon.